Good morning, everybody.
Hello. Please, good morning. Please, if you could mute yourself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to start now. It's exactly 10:30. Good morning, as I said earlier. My name is Anil Sukija, and as a chairperson, I oversee the ICCC Seniors Program. Today, we have gathered here to celebrate the great achievement of Mr. Subhas Bhargava and his better half, Mrs. Uttra Bhargava. For your information, Mr. Subhas Bhargava is lovingly called Sam also by his friends and colleagues. So we are here together and celebrate that he has been honored with the highest Canadian award of Meritorious Service Medal by the Governor General of Canada. Our MC for today's program and also the distinguished speakers who are going to speak will highlight the achievement and contribution of Mr. Bhargava to the community. So I'll not take much time here describing that. Now, please allow me to brief you all about today's logistics. You will notice that all participants have been muted. This has been done so that we have a good audio quality and there is no crosstalk. And the speakers can express their views without any interruption. When the moderator announces your name to speak, please unmute yourself, proceed, and after you have finished, please mute yourself again. Also, I would like to inform you that this event is being recorded. And it is recorded not for quality or training purposes, which everybody hears. It is being recorded to put it on our website for the advantage or for those people who unfortunately could not attend today's session. So I would also like to introduce our MC for today, the moderator. The master of ceremonies today is Mr. I'll let you see him, Mr. Jagmohan Humar. You see him on the screen now. He is our moderator for today. Please mute yourself, please. I request you. So the moderator, Dr. Jagmohan Humar, who is a distinguished research scientist and a respected figure of Ottawa community, is also a very close associate of Bhargava's. I will now request Mr. Jagmohan Humar to please take over. Mr. Humar, please.
Mr. Sukija, thank you very much. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We have assembled, even though by an unusual means of assembly, to celebrate the achievement of Mr. Subhas and Mrs. Uttra Bhargava. It's a pleasure and privilege to congratulate Subhas and Uttra on receiving the prestigious Meritorious Service Medal, one of Canada's highest honors conferred on them by the Governor General of Canada for exemplary service to the community. I'd like to share with you a couple of lines from one of Mahatma Gandhi's favorite hymns. The hymn, composed by Narsi Mehta, was recited each morning at Gandhi's prayer meetings. It began thus: Vaishnav Jan tu tene kahe Peer parai jane re par dukhe upkar kare toye manabhimanan aane re Vaishnav jan tu tene kahe. The true God's person is one who feels the pain of others and strives to ameliorate it, but takes no pride in it. Subhas and Uttra are indeed true God's persons, unassuming, selfless, devoted to the service of the community. It is at my pleasure at this time to invite Mr. Kamal Talwar, President of India-Canada Association, and the spirit behind this celebration. Mr. Talwar, please.
Thank you, Jagmohan ji. My dear friends, brothers and sisters, on behalf of the Indo-Canadian Community Center, I welcome you all to this community celebration event. To congratulate Mr. Subhas Bhargava and Mrs. Uttra Bhargava, and also to celebrate their many social and philanthropic contributions to the Ottawa community. We greatly value your virtual company and appreciate the honor you all have bestowed with your presence today at this important event. First, it's my pleasure to thank all those who have gracefully consented to speak and express their personal sentiments towards Bhargavas. I'm also delighted to acknowledge the presence of all the distinguished individuals. I would like to recognize Ms. Catherine Cotton, Chair, the Ottawa Hospital Board of Governors. Mr. Bernard Jasmine, Dean, Faculty of Medicine, University of Ottawa. Mr. Bob Shirali, former Chair, Regional Municipality of Ottawa Carleton and Minister of Public Infrastructure, Ontario. Mr. Jim Durrell, former Mayor of Ottawa and co-chair the White Coat Cabinet in Brain and Mind Research. Mr. Tim Gluck, President, Ottawa Hospital Foundation. Dr. E. Sai Suruchi Bhargava, Chair in Spinal Cord and Brain Regeneration Research at the Ottawa Hospital. Mr. Bharat Bhargava, Chairman, Bank World for International Economic Development, Washington, D.C. Professor Vijay Bhargava from UBC Vancouver, recipient of Killam Prize from the Governor General of Canada. Dr. Nishit Goel, member of the Governing Council, Canada-India Center for Excellence, Carleton University. Good deeds. Natural law recognizes good deeds. Natural law recognizes good deeds. Subhas ji and Uttra ji, as President and on behalf of the Indo-Canadian Community Center, I'm very pleased and privileged to congratulate you for the prestigious recognition by the Government of Canada. We commend you for the honor of being awarded the coveted Meritorious Service Medal, briefly MSM, by Her Excellency the Right Honourable Julie Payette, Governor General of Canada. This award is of course a great honor for you and your family. It's also an honor for the Indo-Canadian community and a matter of great pride for all your friends and the community at large. Your contributions reflect the cherished Indian ethos of Seva and Dan. The cherished Indian ethos of Seva and Dan, service and charity, giving back to the community, and they represent the best of the qualities of the vibrant Indo-Canadian community in Ottawa and Canada. It's easy to pronounce and chant a couple of prayers. Vasudev Kutumbakam, Ek Onkar, Tan Man Dhan Sab Hai Tera, Nanak Naam Chardi Kala, and so on. By turning a personal family tragedy, a most agonizing chapter of your lives, into an exemplary dedication and commitment to the service of the larger family, that's the community. You made all those pronouncements and prayers into a practical wisdom. You enhanced your inner pilgrimage and strength. And you have inspired all of us. As you can read on the ICCC website, Your daughter Urvashi has so eloquently narrated your life story and many contributions to the community. Now, a few words about the Indo-Canadian Community Center, ICCC. ICCC is a charitable, non-profit, volunteer-run organization aiming to become an institution with values and all values which are human values. We provide numerous platforms and opportunities for bringing the community together. Platforms and opportunities for bringing the community together. Our various initiatives promote enjoyment of rich Indian heritage and cultural values. I say it again, we promote enjoyment of rich Indian heritage and cultural values, thereby enriching the multiculturalism in the Canadian society. Our community services, charity and philanthropy. We recently launched an ICCC COVID-19 relief fund. This campaign to date has raised over $77,000 to support the Ottawa Hospital and 3 food banks in Ottawa. Friends, ICCC greatly values unity in diversity. We value unity in diversity. You're all most welcome to join in any of our programs and activities. In closing, I'm pleased to acknowledge that Bhargavas have made significant contributions toward ICCC's initiatives and are also currently working with us on some new and innovative ideas. We sincerely thank you both, Subhas and Uttra. We are all proud of your contributions and accomplishments. And we pray that you stay blessed and keep enjoying great health to carry on with your community work. Friends, thank you very, very much for once again to you all for joining us today. If you wish to send your electronic message of greetings to Bhargavas, we have provided a contact form on the ICCC website, iccicottawa.org. Thank you. Back to you, Jagmohanji.
Thank you. Our keynote speaker this morning is Dr. Antoine Hakim, Officer of the Order of Canada, inductee to the Canadian Medical Hall of Fame, and Professor Emeritus, University of Ottawa. His research focuses on stroke and dementia. Among his countless awards, the prestigious Canada Gardiner Whiteman Award, referred to by many as the Baby Nobel, for his outstanding research on strokes, their consequences, and prevention. Please welcome Dr. Hakim.
Thank you very much. It is a great honor for me to participate in the celebration of the Special Governor General's Award bestowed recently upon Subhas and Uttra. I'm going to have to learn to say their name correctly, Bhargava. I have known this wonderful couple for several years now, and contrary to what happens, time has brought us closer together rather than apart. Sam now chairs, and Uttra is a member of the committee of the University of Ottawa Brain and Mind Institute, the institute that is responsible for promoting research into many debilitating and difficult brain conditions. This commitment by the Bhargavas is not new. The award celebrates Sam and Uttra's long-standing generosity in support of efforts to prevent brain diseases when possible and alleviating suffering through research advances made possible by their contributions. Where does this generosity come from? It comes from immeasurable pain they have endured. They saw members of their family suffer from Parkinson's disease and dementia. They endured indescribable pain when their very accomplished daughter was hit by a car and suffered complete paralysis. I am sure it was not easy for the Bhargavas to convert their enormous pain into their commitment to improve the lives of people around them. But in doing so, they were following wisdom we have received from many throughout history. It was Mahatma Gandhi who said, "Turn pain into power. Dard ko sata min moro." More recently, and closer to our current lives, Joe Biden lost his first wife and baby daughter when a truck hit the family car. And then, more recently, his son Beau died from brain cancer. Joe Biden recently said, "I know how mean and cruel and unfair life can be sometimes, but the best way through pain and loss and grief is to find purpose." The Bhargavas are showing all of us how to convert horrible events that may be thrust upon us by life into positive action. They are proof that to reduce one's own pain, we must give. We must contribute to make others better. And for that, we will always be grateful to them. The program for today's celebration suggests that I may speak to you about the possibility of avoiding dementia. Do not worry, I will not take this opportunity to give you a long lecture, but perhaps at a later date, I can address your community on this topic. Sam and Uttra have seen firsthand the devastation that dementia can bring upon an individual and his or her family. We used to think that dementia just happened, but we now know that 60% or more of dementias can be avoided through actions each one of us can take. I am very grateful to Sam and Uttra for their commitment to spread the word about what each one of us can do to reduce our risk for dementia and show how the advice can be converted into action. For my part, I have described in a book I wrote 7 rules to avoid dementia, and I will just mention them here, mention the 7 rules to you. Rule number 1, keep your brain actively learning and memorizing, no matter how old you are. Rule number 2, avoid strokes and treat any vascular risk factors you may have. And if you don't know what they are, ask your doctor to tell you whether you have any vascular risk factors or not. Rule number 3, control your blood pressure. It's a very important driver of dementia when it is elevated in a sustained way. Rule number 4, obesity is harmful to your brain, so avoid it. Rule number 5, do not become sedentary. Exercise daily in any way possible. Try to get out of breath once a day through some activity you are doing. Rule number 6, sleep adequately. And rule number 7, avoid sadness and depression. If we all follow these rules, our risk for dementia will be much reduced. And there is work here, not only for individuals like you and me, but also for our institutions and our governments to reduce society's burden of dementia. So to end, I want to say that I am very much looking forward to working with the Bhargavas to develop an action plan to reduce the risk of dementia in our society. I am very grateful for their commitment to this cause and for their generosity towards all of us. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Uttra. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hakim. It's a mark of the compassion, humility, and kindness of Subhas and Uttra, and of their affable nature that present with us are a number of distinguished guests who wish to offer their congratulations and best wishes. I will invite them one by one and urge them to be brief, between 3 and 4 minutes. Please unmute yourself when you're invited to speak, and then when you finish speaking, please mute yourself again. In the interest of time, I will keep my introductions brief. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to invite Honourable Chandra Arya, our distinctive, dedicated, and distinguished Member of Parliament. The political scene in Ottawa has livened up these days. The Conservatives have elected a new leader. The Parliament has been prorogued at the request of the Prime Minister. Speech from the throne has been scheduled and the PM has called for a vote of confidence. Political debate and discourse is often passionate at such time, but it could also be exhilarating, as Winston Churchill showed. He was once asked, why does he listen to special interest groups? And he said, please do not bring my wife into this one. But more recently, we have had the example of Adlai Stevenson Jr., who was twice presidential candidate for the Democratic Party. During one of his campaign speeches addressing the Republicans, he said, if they stop lying about us, I will stop speaking the truth about them. So all the best of luck to Mr. Chandra Arya to navigate the choppy waters of politics, and the hard work he's doing is really exemplary. Please welcome Mr. Chandra Arya.
Namaskar. It's a great pleasure to be here to recognize, appreciate, and felicitate my friends Subhas and Uttra Bhargava. You know, in the last 15 years, I have been in Canada and in Ottawa. I can tell you this is one of the most important events for our Indo-Canadian community. I see here a group of over 130 people. I know many of you are my friends. I know many of you have dedicated decades of community service, especially in this one of the most cherished Indo-Canadian organization, Indo-Canadian Community Center. Today ICCC, led by Kanwal Talwar, has revitalized itself and doing great work for the community. Regarding Subhas and Uttra, already my friends Kanwal Talwar and others have already said much about them. I will keep it brief. I always tell others, we need positive role models for the current generation of Indo-Canadians and for the future generation of Indo-Canadians. Subhas and Uttra are the perfect positive role models, not just to our Indo-Canadian community, but for the Canadian community as a whole. The investment that they have made in research in Ottawa, it not only helps further the research by bringing the best brains in the world to Ottawa to conduct the research, but also make them available to the people of Ottawa for service. I can't say much about the great work they have been doing, and I just tell one simple thing, that wherever possible, please do mention, tell people about what Subhas and Uttra has done so that it can motivate others to do the same thing in their life. Thank you so much for inviting me here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arya. It is my pleasure at this time to invite His Excellency Ajay Bisaria, High Commissioner of India to Canada. During more than 30 years of his diplomatic career, Mr. Bisaria has served as India's representative in many countries, as well as at the United Nations. A highlight of his service was his work as private secretary and aide to Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. A diplomat's life can be very stressful. And I mentioned Adlai Stevenson Jr., who during the end of his career served as US Ambassador to the United States. And based on his experience, he once described a diplomat's life in 3 words: protocol, alcohol, and geritol. Please welcome Mr. Ajay Bisaria.
Namaskar. Thank you very much, Dr. Humar, Dr. Hakim, Mr. Ken Talwar, our own Member of Parliament, Mr. Chandra Arya, and of course, Subhas Bhargava ji and Uttra Bhargava ji, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. What a pleasure it is for me to be part of this wonderful community event to felicitate a completely unique and awe-inspiring role model of a couple. And thank you very much to ICCC for thinking of me and keeping us as part of this wonderful event. It is truly heartwarming to see the response and the dedication that Mr. and Mrs. Bhargava have shown, and the way they have converted pain into service, the way they have made such a huge mark in Canada with what they have done. And as you said, they're truly an embodiment of Vaishnav Jante, God's own people, who have contributed in so many different ways to Canadian society and to Canada. We also, on our part, want to claim them for India, because we want to recognize them on behalf of the people, the government of India, and on behalf of the High Commission for the exemplary work they're doing, because in many ways they are a global resource, a global model of what they do, because one other sentiment that they embody is Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The world is a family, and they are part of this family at this point of time. But the Indian family and the Indian ethos would also recognize this huge contribution. On the Indo-Canadian community, I can't say how proud we are of the Indo-Canadian community. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Mr. and Mrs. Bhargava yet, because I'm the virtual High Commissioner. I've stepped into the virtual world of virtual diplomacy as soon as I came in, and all my conversations are now over virtual platforms. But it's wonderful, and I hope to see them as soon as I can get out of this place and it's safer to do so. But I'd like to mention that we are very proud of the Indo-Canadian community of 1.6 million. We are also proud of the 700,000 odd Indian passport holders, the work permit holders and PR holders who are here. And it's important to have these role models who guide, to shine the light on what is possible, what kinds of achievements are possible. There are 22 members of Parliament of Indian origin. Chandra Arya ji is one of them, 4 of them ministers. And we feel they contribute a special dynamism to this strategic partnership between India and Canada, which we are trying to take to the next level. So I would say that both Mr. and Mrs. Bhargava are global resources. They are global. They are India's gift to Canada in many different ways. And it's heartwarming to see what they have done, and heartwarming also to see the way our community recognizes them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bisaria. It is my pleasure now to invite Ms. Jackie Holtzman, the former mayor of Ottawa. She served on the Kiwanis Club along with the Bhargavas. Ms. Holtzman is also a founding member and co-chair of a Compassionate Ottawa, a young organization that champions palliative care and spiritual support necessary for best practice end of life. Bhargava actively support Ms. Holtzman in her work. Please welcome Ms. Jackie Holtzman.
Thank you very much. I was fortunate to meet Sam and Uttra through Kiwanis. You'll hear more about Kiwanis a little later from Derek. Sam and Uttra should have been doctors or scientists, so that they could further develop their strong interest in healthcare and medical research. They met with me a few years ago to discuss their concerns about health conditions that had afflicted their family: dementia, Parkinson's, spinal cord injury, and they wanted to make a difference in these fields, and so they did. And you'll hear more about it from Sharon and from Michael shortly. Sam always talked about priming the pump, taking a lead role with the hope and expectation that others would follow, and they did. My most recent opportunity to see their generosity in action was with an organization that I co-founded and Ken just mentioned, Compassionate Ottawa. It's based on the premise that we are all going to die. But until then, how can we live as long and as well as we can with the quality of life that's important to each one of us? Sam and Uttra understood how important it is to think about it, to talk about it, share it with a loved one, and write it down. They introduced us to the leaders of the ICCC, and they primed the pump by making a financial donation, which the ICCC matched. Sam and Uttra hosted advanced care planning sessions in their home and helped organize others. I have no doubt that they will continue being ambassadors for living as well and as long as they can when they move into their new home in a few months. Sam and Uttra are the ultimate role models, as the ambassador just described, for their beloved family, their extended family, and their friends, role models for fellow Kiwanians, and for the community at large. We say thank you, congratulations on a well-earned recognition.
Thank you, Ms. Holtzman. It is my pleasure now to invite Ms. Sharon Martin, former Senior Director, Ottawa Hospital Foundation. She is involved in fundraising most of her life. Fundraising can be stressful, but also an interesting task. The best fundraising story that I heard was from our former university president, Roseanne Rante. Once, while raising funds for her university, she approached a wealthy gentleman, but he was in no mood to give. Instead, he railed against the poor quality apples in the market and how he longed for one particular brand. So while driving toward her home, Roseanne found those apples being sold on the roadside. So she picked up some, baked a pie, and sent it to this gentleman. Soon after, she received in the mail a check and a thank you note saying the pie was delicious, but every bite of it is costing me $80,000. In Bhargava's, Miss Martin found very willing and generous donors. I only wish she had baked pie for them. Please welcome Miss Sharon Martin.
Well, thank you so very much, and I'm happy to make a pie for Sam and Uttra anytime.
Yes.
I'm also very pleased to be following Jackie Holtzman because, of course, it was, and Jackie, by the way, is the most energetic woman I know. But it was Jackie who introduced the Bhargavas to me 9 years ago. And it was Jackie who connected the dots to the Ottawa Hospital Foundation, as Sam and Uttra, you considered how to go about making a major philanthropic decision. We met at your daycare, your daycare center in Orleans, and we were given a tour by you, Uttra, where we witnessed firsthand your passion, your energy, and devotion to providing a safe and healthy environment. Learning environment for young children in our community. And that meeting was the beginning of a wonderful relationship with the Ottawa Hospital, where our scientists and researchers they benefited from your incredible philanthropy, but as an organization, we also benefited from your continued active involvement and your leadership. Your 64 years in Canada is a story of bravery, of fortitude and success in raising your 5 beautiful children, in setting up businesses. It's a story of your commitment to your community and your country, and living and honoring your rich Indian heritage and culture. You know, and as been referenced before by Mr. Talwar and Dr. Hakim and others, we know that it's a story of suffering and of loss. But during those years, you never gave up hope that life could be better, that life should be better. And those losses did not crush your spirit. Rather, I think it's driven you on a path of relentless advocacy to do everything in your power to advance research into diseases of the brain, to do everything in your power so that others wouldn't suffer as you have. You know, you are amazing people. You collaborate and you connect with people, with organizations, with levels of government. You're relentless to advance your mission. And I'm so happy that we have the opportunity today to share some of those stories and the incredible ways in which you've impacted our community and our country. I have two special memories of Sam that Sam and Uttra that I would like to share. So your incredible generosity funded 2 research chairs at the Ottawa Hospital. One supporting our acclaimed senior scientist, Dr. Michael Schlossmacher, and the other funding a young and brilliant neurosurgeon, Dr. Eve Tsai. On both those occasions, when we publicly unveiled those chairs, and in the presence of your family, friends and dignitaries, I can see the 2 of you standing side by side. And then Uttra extends a hand and gently places it on the shoulder of our scientist, and she offers a special blessing. Those were powerful and spiritual moments, and I can only imagine what it meant to Dr. Schlossmacher and Dr. Tsai. To me, it was this wonderful, meaningful gesture that was so reflective of your humble, genuine desire to improve lives and alleviate suffering. You bring honor to your heritage, you bring honor to your family, and you bring honor to our country. Congratulations, Sam and Uttra.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. It is my pleasure to next invite Dr. Michael Schlossmacher, an award-winning physician scientist and Bhargava Research Chair in Neurodegeneration at the Ottawa Hospital Research Institute. Dr. Schlossmacher studied in Austria and at Harvard before moving to Ottawa in 2006 to join OHIR. His research focus is on neurodegenerative disease and Parkinson's diseases. He is not afraid to challenge dogmas in medicine and investigate opposing ideas. My mother always taught me to be daring and to reassemble the pieces of a puzzle to see whether we can create a different view and thus a better understanding of a problem, says Dr. Schlossmacher. The approach has led to many surprising and important discoveries, winning for him the 2017 Grimes Research Career Achievement Award. Please welcome Dr. Schlossmacher.
Thank you very much for this very kind introduction. You're exaggerating. And also thank you to the leaders of the ICCC for inviting me to join this exceptional and celebratory event. I'd like to extend heartfelt congratulations from my wife Alki and I to the Jubilees, our awardees, Uttra and Subhas and Bhargava, on their well-deserved Meritorious Service Medal recognition by our Excellency, the Governor General. As you've heard, I'm a neurologist and researcher at the Ottawa Hospital and at the University of Ottawa, and I've been the beneficiary of the tremendous generosity of Uttra and Sam to support and further fund our research in Parkinson's. And as Sharon Martin just pointed out, I was just one of 2 beneficiaries within the scientific community, with Dr. Eve Tsai being the other recipient to pursue spinal cord research. So Uttra and Sam they're not limited to one cause, as you've heard from others. They're just immeasurable in their creativity and their vision and in their generosity. In my congratulatory note to Uttra and Sam this morning on the website that the Indo-Canadian Community Center has created cleverly, I've pointed out 4 key features that, in my opinion, define our 2 awardees. All are true, each one of them is true, none is exaggerated. And I'd like to explain to you what those 4 elements were, in my opinion. I thank them for their visionary leadership. They knew that the status quo of neuroscience, the way it is and was conducted in Ottawa, needed an injection of new ideas, namely how to communicate better, more effectively our work, and also to get the involvement of the top brass in the city. You heard from Jackie Holtzman, but they didn't stop there. They went to every single leader within the city and within our academic universe to try to galvanize their support without any fear, without any hesitation. And from it sprang 2, as an example, 2 really amazing events that Sam and Uttra envisioned before we could even think of it. One is this yearly Brain Health Awareness Week that is being put on in the city to showcase what we have accomplished and contributed to new insights in matters of neuroscientific. The second one was, as you've heard from Dr. Hakim, support for the University of Ottawa Brain and Mind Research Institute. A second point that I made this morning is I thank them for their unwavering commitment. And as they know, meaningful progress needs conviction, endurance, encouragement, and hard work. And Uttra and Sam know this better than anyone else. They also sensed early on that in order to make breakthroughs happen, one needs emotional support, and as Sharon just told you, spiritual support and spousal support. And these contributions are really important to make breakthroughs happen. And one couldn't do this better and more kindly and more gently than Uttra does it with the loving support of her husband. I also thanked him as number 3 for their limitless energy. These 2, Uttra and Subhas, are defying the odds, in my opinion, as to one can accomplish in his or her later years after a professional career during mature adulthood, and then to go on and contribute even more. It is just amazing how physically, emotionally, and intellectually they contribute. How do they replenish this energy? Where does their immeasurable capacity for love to give come from? How do they find balance and harmony? We heard from Dr. Hakim and others who pointed out that incredible loss really in life and suffering can be at the root of purpose. I also think that an ethos of the community's success being more important than an individual search for hedonistic entertainment play a big role in the Bhargava success story. And you can't say it better, I think, than we just heard from Mr. Bizaria, who said the 2 are India's gift to Canada. It couldn't have been said better. So lastly, I thank the Bhargavas also for their generous philanthropy. I'm not privy to Uttra's and Sam's entire portfolio of philanthropic endeavors, but with my limited insight, just the Ottawa Hospital alone and the academic community has benefited from their tremendous generosity that is far beyond $1 million. And that's just unbelievably strong and big contribution to the community that just humbles us. So in summary, your genuine kindness, your infinite wisdom, the emotional intelligence, and the multifaceted contributions that you bring to the community, to our community, are inspirational and deeply humbling. And in that, I want to thank you for everything you do, and congratulations again.
Thank you, Dr. Schlossmacher. I always wonder about the specialties and neurodegeneration and words like that. I knew about a young doctor who just graduated, and an older colleague asked him, well, what are you going to do next? And he said, no, of course I'm going to specialize. These are days of specialization. And what do you specialize in? Well, doctor, in your time, you had only one doctor doing everything. Now I'm going to specialize in ear, nose, throat, and I'll look at the disease of the nose. And so the older gentleman said, oh, which nostril? It's a great pleasure to be in the company of doctors, to see and admire their work. In fact, in the recent days, the frontline workers, the doctors have been putting so many hours, risking themselves. In fact, I know of a personal experience. I know of a young doctor who is a transplant surgeon who does liver, kidney, and pancreas. And so his reputation spread widely. And so a father and a son from India, all the way from Bangalore, came to the United States where he was practicing to get a kidney transplant in which the son was receiving the kidney from the father. A few years ago, or a few years later than this, when I happened to meet this couple, visit his home in Bangalore, and they said, well, the wife said, to me, the doctor is a god, because in her hands were the lives of both my son and my husband. So great kudos to our doctors and our colleagues. It is now my pleasure to invite Mr. Derek Finlay. And after Mr. Derek Finlay will be Mr. Harsh Bhargava, who is going to show you some slides, and we have a screen enabling for him. Mr. Derek Finlay is a former president of Kiwanis Club. Mr. Finlay has dedicated his life to serving the community. He joined Kiwanis Club in 1995 and became its president in 2004. He was in fact the youngest president to serve in the history of the club. Subhas and Uttra and Derek have worked together on Kiwanis for many, many years, making a difference in the lives of many. Please welcome Mr. Derek Finlay.
Thank you, Dr. Humar. Fellow speakers and guests, I'm very honored and proud to be with all of you today to celebrate my friend Sam and Uttra for receiving such a well-deserved and prestigious award. I was asked to talk about my friend Sam, but I will include Uttra in my talkings because Uttra has always been the partner in crime. And I know that all good, the best of Sam comes from Uttra, and she is his boss. So I wish to acknowledge both of you on such a wonderful day. I have known Sam for over 25 years since becoming a member and volunteer of the Kiwanis Club of Ottawa, which is a leading service club in Canada. And like Jackie Holzman, who is also a longstanding member, Sam has served his community in this capacity since 1987. That's 33 years. It's fantastic. Sam is a highly respected Kiwanian. He is a member of the Kiwanis Legion of Honor, and he is a recipient of the most respected Mel Osborne Award. The Mel Osborne Award is a fellowship that is awarded to exceptional Kiwanians by their peers, and Sam is certainly deserving of this award. Sam was our president of the club in 2005, and he received the district award for his service. Service is in the heart of Sam, and Sam says, by working together, members achieve what one person cannot accomplish alone. Sam is a leader. He was the chair of a committee called Young Children Priority 1, and I joined that committee and where I really met Sam. And that committee was responsible for helping and nurturing programs to help kids. He created two amazing products while we were in that committee. The first one being a video to commemorate Never Shake a Baby syndrome. And this video accomplished a great deal. It trained the trainers, it educated people, and most importantly, it was fundamental in creating legislation about the shaken baby syndrome. It was fabulous work. His second video, if that wasn't enough, was called Precious Minds. And Precious Minds was working with our community partners and Dr. Fraser Mustard, who discovered that the neural network in children's brains needed to be nurtured and built in the early years, and how important it was to read to young children at an early age. Surprisingly, we had ambitions of selling maybe 5,000 of these videos, but in the end, I checked with numbers, we've sold over 400,000. So fabulous, great success. With all these accomplishments, there is something special about Sam, that he has this quality that I'm not sure that even he knows himself. Kiwanis is about teaching and building leaders for tomorrow. This is done by members who participate in our events and our products that the club offers. But Sam goes well beyond that. He is one of those members who takes the time and energy to nurture others. Sam took me under his wing and taught me by example. He made me a better person, and he still teaches. He still teaches me even today, giving, of serving community with honor and respect and dignity. And he instills these qualities in others to make them become great leaders. Sam invests, what I say, in human capital with purpose of human flourishing, and that this is the biggest investment that we can attain for building a better world. I work with Sam now with the dementia at the University of Ottawa Brain and Mind Institute with Dr. Hakem, and I know that I'm going to be on a terrific, wonderful ride again with good people, good feelings, great energy, and best of all, good results. So congratulations, Sam and Uttra. Bravo, well done, and congratulations on your wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Finlay. I'm pleased to next invite Mr. Harsh Bhargava, who has an MBA from Harvard School of Business, the president of Bankworld Incorporated, a prominent Washington, D.C. management consultant company. He is also the founder and president of iCreate Incorporated, a new non-profit corporation with 20 centers in India and 1 in Kenya. Over the past 17 years, iCreate has provided practical grassroots entrepreneurship programs for women and unemployed youth, numbering over 50,000. Harsh is a cousin of Subhash, and together they have created opportunities for many women and youth in India. Now, management consultants have a special skill in improving the efficiency of workplace environment. So here is this management consultant. He was giving tips to his wife about how to improve the efficiency of making breakfast. Indeed, it worked. His wife used to take 20 minutes making breakfast. Now he takes 10 minutes making the same breakfast. Mr. Harsh Bhargava.
Thank you so much, Jagmohan ji, honorable friends and family. I think in terms of knowing Subhash Bhargava and Uttra Bhargava, I take the cake. I have known Subhash Bhargava, Subhash Bhaiya to me, all my life. For all these years, he has been a warm-hearted and caring cousin. And when he married Uttra Bhargava, Uttra Bhabi to me, another very caring and warm-hearted person came to our family. In the last several years, I have rediscovered him. They have not only given back to Canada, the country they have adopted as their own, but they have not forgotten the country they came from, India. And that's where I come in. 20 years back, in the face of dire unemployment problem in India, my wife, Dr. Aruna Bhargava, and I started a project called iCreate. Its mission was creating entrepreneurs among the unemployed youth, so they become job creators instead of job seekers. Dr. Aruna Bhargava is not just my wife, but my partner in the project, just as Subhash Bhaiya and Uttra Bhabi are partners in their projects. Subhash Bhaiya and Uttra Bhabi have been a great pillar of support and encouragement and inspiration to us at iCreate. Their support has included a huge donation of rupees 1 crore or about 200,000 And so Bisaria ji, they truly believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. With their support, we have been able to have thousands of disadvantaged women quit the cycle of poverty by becoming entrepreneurs and living a life of dignity. Here are a few illustrations. Sudha was often beaten brutally by her in-laws for not bringing dowry. It was so bad that she was on the verge of committing suicide when one of iCreate trainers took her under her wings. She attended the entrepreneurship workshop and started with a very small retail business. She became so successful and confident that she is now invited to be a guest speaker at Disadvantaged Women's Assembly and mentor them. In this picture, a happy Sudha on the left is dancing with her mentees. Oops, sorry, 1 second. It went a little too far. Anyway, I will skip one slide because it went beyond that. Abdul Samad was an unemployed youth helping his poor father manage a micro business, and thus he couldn't even complete education beyond 8th grade. With iCreate mentorship and handicraft board loan, he started a seed business. It became so successful that he has provided employment to the entire village. Jyotika Parmar, sitting second from the left, was so poor that she couldn't even pay 50 rupees rent, $1 rent for her apartment. iCreate trained, she started a small security business. It has grown and now employs 200 people. Just as she was helped to become an entrepreneur and come out of poverty, her dream is to help 30 such women become entrepreneurs. She's working on it. In this picture, she's sitting with some of her trainees, their families, and iCreate trainers. iCreate is now training young retiring Jawans who need to supplement their pension. Also, by starting their business in their own villages, they are able to stay with their young family whom they have left all the time because of their service requirements. So instead of running to big cities and working as watchmen or drivers, they are beginning to start businesses in their own villages and stay with them. There are thousands of such stories where Subhash Bhaiya and Uttra Bhabi's contribution as support has helped create entrepreneurs. Here are some more, just trained and proud of their accomplishment. So Subhash Bhaiya and Uttra Bhabi, or Mr. and Mrs. Sam Bhargava, MSM, congratulations. You not only make us all proud, but as speaker after speaker has said, you are a true inspiration and a true role model for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bhargava, for a wonderful presentation and showing us some real life pictures of people who have benefited from this. As you rightly say, you create job makers from job seekers. My thanks to all of the distinguished guests for sharing the pleasant memories of their association with Subhash and Uttra, who have touched so many of us with their compassion, kindness, and love. They have worked side by side in pleasure and in pain, in happiness and in adversity, deriving strength from their love for each other that keeps them engaged in ameliorating the pain of others, and radiating hope in their ever-present smile. It must be a rare occasion when both husband and wife have received the prestigious Meritorious Service Medal at the same time. They have been referred to appropriately as a power couple. They work together. They raise their family, of course, together. They look after the parents together. They have served on the Kiwanis Club together. Both are serving as president at one time or the other. I know one other couple of that kind, another power couple, both physicians who work side by side in the clinic, in their labs, in research studies, and at their home. The local newspaper who was running a series on power couples sought them out. And the journalist writing the piece incredulously asked them, how does it feel to be side by 24/7? I guess I can ask Subhas and Uttra the same question as I invite them to offer their remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Subhas Bhargava and Ms. Uttra Bhargava.
Thank you, Dr. Homer, President Kent, Your Excellency, Mr. Visaria, High Commissioner of India in Canada, Mr. Chandra Arya, MP, Nepean, honorable speakers, ladies and gentlemen. This is such an honor. This moment is so much bigger than us. We are humbled, honored, and at the same time excited to be in your midst. Dr. Tony Hakim, Jackie Holzman, Sharon Martin, Dr. Michael Schwarzmarker, Derek Finlay, and Harsh Bhargava, my in-law, have accumulated many successes to what we have. Without them, we could not have done it. We respect and admire you from bottom of our hearts. We have learned a lot from you. These simple words cannot express our gratitude for your wisdom, understanding, and sometimes patience with us, not them. Thank you to the audience from Ottawa and far for supporting us. We want to express our appreciation. Thank you of many of you present and behind the scene who have worked so hard to make this event so special for us. Last but not the least, Mr. Anil Sukhiya and President Ken Talwar for your talent, passion, leadership to make all this happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Uttra. I also echo Uttra's sentiments and thank you all once again for part of being in our journey. Our real heroes are the scientists, like ace pilots wiping out health issues, and we are part of their ground crew. Great things happen when we all work together. I remember back in the 50s when my parents moved from Syracuse to Cornwall. A preschooler next door had a puzzled look on his face. He asked my mom, "Are you English?" "No, I'm not English," said my mom. "Oh, then you must be French," said the boy as he walked away. Indo-Canadians were unknown entity back then. Today, it doesn't matter how you look, what your religion is, and what you wear. There are possibilities for all of us in Canada. Thank you, Canada. We have accepted the recognition of Governor General of Canada's medal on behalf of millions of fragile seniors, brain disease patients, the disabled, who helplessly suffer, like our own family members with spinal cord injury, dementia, Parkinson, and concussion. I'm mindful that during the pandemic, 80% of Canada's total COVID-19 deaths have come from long-term care home patients, some without saying final goodbyes to their loved ones. We refuse to accept the status quo as our final response to their sufferings. Collectively, we can influence the unfolding of events that surround us. Mahatma Gandhi wrote, "Faith must be enforced by reason. The same can be said about hope. Hope without reason is blind. Hope without reason will die." Today, people who are diagnosed with brain diseases dare hope. Hope that is not blind. Hope because there is a reason. Science and technology have made great headway around the world. We in Ottawa are truly blessed with our world-class medical researchers right here in Ottawa and their collaborative spirit. Our unsung heroes, like the ones who just spoke, are in the audience with us today. We are living longer, but we also want a good quality of life. Dementia is a major health issue in the senior years. We urge you all to join our dementia prevention campaign. The University of Ottawa Brain and Mind Research Institute is working with President Ken and Mr. Sukija of ICCC to help our community members adapt to these changes and prevent dementia. It's never too early or never too late to making lifestyle changes. Thank you very much once again, Dr. Hummer.
Thank you, Subhas and Uttra. It's been a personal pleasure having known them for all these years. Besides whatever has been said about, there are other dimensions to their personality. It's their great spirituality that brings them strength. And the recitation that they do, that Uttra does, and I have in fact a recording of their audio recording of their bhajan, which I play so often because it's so inspiring. And that part of their life may not be known to others. And that's the very thing that makes them richer and makes others who are in contact with them enriched. So thank you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the close of our formal part of the program. Thank you for your participation. I am pleased to invite Mr. Anil Sukhija to propose a vote of thanks and to conduct the remaining portion of our program. Thank you.
Thank you, Jagmohanji. Thank you all for your patience and cooperation today. On behalf of ICCC, it's my pleasure to thank Mr. and Mrs. Bhargava for accepting our invitation for today's event and the members of their family who have joined us today from all over the world. We would like to thank Dr. Antoine Hakim for his excellent presentation and also agreeing to be the chief guest today. We are grateful to His Excellency, Mr. Ajay Bisaria, High Commissioner of India in Canada, and also Mr. Chandra Arya, Member of Parliament, for having spared their valuable time from their busy schedule to grace this event with their presence. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank His Excellency for having recognized ICCC for its community work on the occasion of India's Independence Day. A big thank you to all the speakers today to have come and to felicitate Bhargavas with their kind words. I know that you are all too very busy, and then you have spared a few minutes for us today. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jagmohanji, for conducting this event so meticulously and professionally. ICC President, all directors on the board and ICC program chairs, a big thank you to you for your inputs in making this event a great event today. There are many volunteers who have worked behind the scene for so many days, and a very big thank you to them. During this event, I have seen a lot of office bearers and executives of various Ottawa-based organizations who have come. Thank you very much for your support and encouragement. Last but the most of all, a big thank you to all of you, the participants who have joined today in such a big number. It's very heartening to see so many people here. On that note, I would like to formally close this celebration event. However, you are welcome to stay back and you will get an opportunity to offer your felicitation to Bhargavas and enjoy the normal weekly get-together of the seniors that we have every week. Thank you very much once again. Goodbye.